My name is Katelyn Wright. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. I grew up with a great family. I was very active. I played sports. I was really good at school. By the world standards, I was successful and I had everything any kid could ever dream of. But for whatever reason, I still had some depression and anxiety behind closed doors. And I was almost ashamed of it. Because I had no reason to be sad or anything like that. So it was just kind of this like constant turmoil inside me and this void that I just couldn't really quite define. But I just, my parents and the world told me that if you graduate high school and you go to college and get your degree, you can be whatever you want to be and things will work out for you. So that's what I did. I got accepted to East Carolina University, and that's when really like drugs and alcohol started for me. It was just a part of that culture and a part of the world is just to drink and, do party drugs on the weekends. And so when I graduated college, I started working, I started getting out into the world, into the real world, I guess. And that's when my addiction just progressed even more and more. I was functioning for a while and it was fine. But finally it brought me to my knees, after about 10 years, finally I was homeless. I was living out of my car. I was an intravenous, drug user. I went from just partying and stuff to, something I said I would never do and shoot drugs and stuff because I've had family that has died of like heroin overdoses and stuff. Just slowly but surely my like morals and stuff were just like degrading. And I was just trying to fill that void still with something and I just couldn't get a grasp on it. Then finally, when things were really getting out of control, my mom and my dad had like little intervention with me and they actually wanted to send me here. But I wasn't having it. I was not a Christian at all. I was the complete opposite. I mean, I was an atheist, and my whole life had been defined by like I had been told if you just do what you're supposed to do, then things will work out for you, like a make your own luck mentality. And so I just figured when I got myself into this addiction, so I'll just get myself out of it. But then finally it landed me in jail and I got desperate enough to call my mom and, there was no bond, there was no getting out of jail this time. They were gonna not give me bond, but since the jails were all full because of COVID and stuff, they were handing out furloughs to a lot of like drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff. They said, we'll give you a furlough to go to a drug rehab if you're willing to do that. And so I said yes. I was so desperate to get out of jail that I called my mom, and I remember them bringing up this place and I said, call them, see if there's any way that they'll let me in. So I got accepted and my mom came and picked me up from jail and brought me straight down here. That whole 12 hours coming down here, I was like bawling, crying. I was like, what am I about to get myself into? I really didn't want to change at all. There was none of that. I just wanted to get out of the jail cell. And so I knew I was about to be on lockdown for 6 months. I knew I was about to be, go to this Jesus boot camp that I didn't believe in, I was like packing all my books and stuff into all my books from jail. I was putting in a bag to bring in here. My mom was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm getting my stuff ready. And she's like, you can't bring those in there. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't bring those in there? She was like, they said you're not allowed to bring in outside books. And I was like, what is this place? Like, I can't, like, why, like, I just wanted to do things my way. I just envisioned myself coasting through this and just having my own thoughts and just sitting through it and just getting through it and then going home and returning back to my life. Because change wasn't really a reality or an option for me. But But I finally got here. It was 2 a.m. Miss Gina waited up for me to get here. And this is where I'll start crying. And at 2 a.m., even though even though no one was awake or up to like welcome me except for Miss Gina, like as soon as I walked in the door, it was like, I felt like love. Like it was like I could relax. Like I stopped worrying for some reason, I couldn't define or pinpoint it right then and there, but I just, it was incredible. And I just go back into my room and I had the best night sleep that I'd had in years. And, the next morning, like, it's just crazy because all the girls here, like I said, my whole life, I had been shown so much love. Like, love wasn't lacking in my life. But those were all my family members and people that knew me. Coming here, nobody knew me. All they knew about me was that I was a drug addict, that I was coming from jail, and that I wasn't a Christian. And so even despite all those things, like they just showered me with so much love. All the girls, they were hugging on me and loving on me, made me an omelet first thing in the morning, and just the volunteers that came in, I couldn't deny, after just like 2 weeks of being here, I could not deny the love of God anymore. And I just completely surrendered everything and gave my life to God and to Jesus, like it was, it was just so incredible. And so I made that awesome decision. Finally, and it's just crazy how God, looking back, that's what I needed so bad, was just to be humbled and to be taken into jail and to just sit there and, be locked in. As much as I hated it, he knew exactly what I needed. And he knew that, in my mind, I didn't need him my whole life. I just relied on myself. And then so finally, I even thank him every day for my drug addiction and for bringing me to jail, because without all of that, I would have never realized how much I need him to live. So yeah, since I've been here, he's just totally transformed my mind. I got baptized at church. My grandpa came down, and it's just my whole life, I had all this love, but I didn't know how to show it back. I was depressed and stuff, but God's shown me how to love others and how to be, just how to be. I don't have to try anymore. All I have to do is just listen to him. And something else too, just going to all those other rehabs and stuff, they constantly were drilling in your head, you're not gonna change. 95% of the people that come in, they fail again. They go back to using, you just kind of learn how to cope with life there. You're not really changing anything, because it's a hopeless situation. But here, I'm a new creation in Christ. There's a whole new, being, it's just, I don't know. My favorite, the way I could sum up this whole testimony is in Titus 3, Paul says, at one time we too were foolish, disobedient, deceived, and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. I lived in malice and envy, being hated and hating everyone, but then, the love of God appeared. And he saved us, not because of anything I had done, but because of his mercy. I didn't do anything good to deserve any of this. And he gave it all to me, It's just incredible. So I'm just really grateful. All the volunteers and all the girls here, how everyone just loved me before they even knew who I was or, knew anything about me. They welcomed me. And honestly, my whole life, I'd been kind of told by people that Christians were very hypocritical, that they didn't, practice what they preached, I guess. And, coming here, though, it was not like that at all. Walking into church, I was afraid I was going to burst into flame when I walked in there. But instead, everyone was hugging me and, loving on me. The volunteers, we have volunteers that let us come to their house and eat. They cook a 5-course meal for us. And we're all criminals, but they let us into their house and sit with us. house and sit with them and eat with them. And and the volunteers that come in here, you know, and just bring all their love and they like create all these lessons and stuff for us, just seeing how much effort they put into us. And they're volunteers, like they don't get paid to do it. They're doing it, they're being God's hands and feet, you know, and just really doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's just really cool. That's probably my biggest thing. And it's really cool too, because, you know, my dad and my sisters, they're, you know, atheists. And so it's been really cool just talking to him on the phone. And he continually asks me every week I talk to him, he's like, you sound so good. Like, what's different this time? What's different? And I keep trying to break it, like keep trying to tell him, like, turns out I just needed Jesus. Like, you know, I kept trying to like give it to him. And now he's like, just God opened so many doors now on our conversations for me to like say things that Jesus has said. And my dad, he doesn't fight against it anymore. He's not like, oh, well, what about the dinosaurs, or what about Gilgamesh? And now it's, you know, oh my gosh, Jesus said that? Or that's so true, you know? And so it's just been really cool to see his mind shift, you know? And also even my mom, she's always believed in God, but she never had that relationship. And now she's about to get baptized. Just, you know, it's just really cool to see. Even if I had to go through like everything I went through again, like just to see my mom like happy and getting a right relationship with the Lord, and even my dad's eyes getting open, like I would do that all again, you know, just to be somewhat of an influence. So that's it. Looking ahead, I know the Lord has so many great plans for me. Jeremiah 29:11, that's been like my mantra, you know, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give me hope in a future. Like, I truly, like right now, I don't know the exact answer because God's been working on me. I have to wait for my court case stuff to get settled, and I have to like truly wait. You know, that's been a struggle in my past, is I'm always like worried about the next thing. You know, if I just do this, I'll be happy. If I just do this, I'll reach my goal. So him, you know, having me here waiting on the outcome of this court case has me just fully trusting him. But I know I just keep going back to that verse in my head that whatever it is he has for me, he's gonna prosper me. You know, he's not gonna harm me. He wants only the best. And as long as I just stay in his will and do, you know, follow his word, then that's all I got, you know, that's all I can do. And that's the only way to live. So I would tell someone that's currently struggling with addiction that you can definitely change, only with God though. You have to surrender everything that you know and thought to be true and just let him lead you, and you will change if you let him. Like, you don't need to keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to live like this. And despite what the world says, you know, people do change, but again, only with Christ. So that's it.